Good morning, everyone. You're probably wondering why we're all here today. We are all here for an important agenda, and that is to discuss the Republic Act number 6713. As stated in Section 1, this act shall be known as the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for Public Officials and Employees. It is the policy of the state to promote a high standard of ethics in public service. And please do remember these terms, for we will encounter this later on.
Good day, ma'am. Section 4 Norms of Conduct of Public Officials and Employees states that every public official and employee shall observe commitment to public interest, professionalism, justness and sincerity, political neutrality, responsiveness to the public, nationalism and patriotism, commitment to democracy, and simple living.
According to Section 5, when it comes to their duties, all the public officials are obliged to act promptly in letters of request, submit annual performance reports, process documents and papers expeditiously, act immediately on public's personal transactions, and lastly, make documents accessible to the public. Section 6 is the system of rewards and incentives to motivate and inspire public servants to uphold the highest standards of ethics. A system of annual incentives and rewards is established. It is done by a periodic review of performance of public officials and employees.
Section 7. Prohibited actions and transactions. 1. Financial and material interest. 2. Outside employment and other activities related thereto. 3. Misuse of confidential information. 4. Solicitation or acceptance of gifts. That's all.
So, as stated in Section 8, Statements and Disclosure, ma'am, all public officials and employees except those who are in an honorary capacity are required to file their SALN and make a disclosure of business interests and financial connections.
The SALN filed by the public officials shall be made available for inspection at reasonable hours and to the public for 10 years after it is received. Also, it should not be used for any purpose harmful to morals or public policy other than general public news and communications media.
In Section 9, a public official or employee shall avoid conflicts of interest. If ever, he must resign, divest, or transfer any shares or interest within 60 days. While in Section 10, the committees of both houses of the Congress shall establish procedures for the review of statements, have the power within their respective jurisdictions, and shall perform the first two duties stated, ma'am.
According to Section 11, ma'am, any public official or employee committing any violation of this act shall be punished with a fine equivalent of 6 months' salary, a suspension of 1 year, or removal depending on the seriousness of the offense. Violation of Section 7, 8, or 9 of this act shall be punishable with imprisonment of 5 years or a fine of 5,000 pesos or both, and ineligibility for public office. Private individuals who act as co-principals or accomplices of the concerned public officials or employees shall be subject to the same penal liabilities as them. The official or employee concerned may bring an action against any person who obtains a report, and the court may give that person a penalty in any amount not to exceed 25,000 pesos.
According to the remaining sections of this Act, ma'am, the Civil Service Commission is hereby authorized to promulgate rules and regulations necessary to carry out the provisions of this Act. Nothing in this Act shall be construed to derogate from any law or any regulation prescribed by anybody or agency. The sum necessary for the effective implementation of this Act shall be taken from the appropriations of the Civil Service Commission, and if any provision of this Act or the application of such provision is declared invalid, the remainder of the Act or the application of such provision to other persons or circumstances shall not be affected by such declaration. All laws, decrees, and orders are deemed repealed or modified accordingly unless the same is provided for a heavier penalty. And lastly, it is stated that this Act shall take effect after 30 days following the completion of its publication in the Official Gazette or in 2 national newspapers of general circulation.
Wow, I'm impressed. Well, let's call it a day. Thank you for your time and your cooperation.